Hi guys, right, so in this video we're going to have a look at factorising in single brackets. Now this word factorising, people always forget what it means. It just means we're sticking this expression back into brackets, okay? Now, the first thing you have to do is work out the highest common factor, okay? So which number can go into 2 and 6. Okay, what's the highest number that can go into 2 and 6? Well, the highest number that goes into both of these is 2. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to do. Now, when we're expanding single brackets, we had a grid. So guess what? That's what we're going to have again now. Except I don't know what goes on the outside and I don't know what's inside the bracket, but I do know the answer. The answer is 2x plus 6. Okay. Now what we do is we break this up using the highest common factor. So for example, the highest common factor is 2. So I have 2. And then 2x just means 2 times x. Because 2 is already the highest common factor, I don't have to worry about that. But I do need to break up the 2x. So 2 times x. I'm going to use dots to mean multiplying. Okay, dots in maths just mean multiplying. So 2 times x, 2 dot x. I'm just breaking that up into its basics. I then plus 6, but I don't want to use 6. I want to use the highest common factor, which is 2. So I say 2, and 2 times what gets me 6? Well, 2 times 3 gets me 6. Okay, so all I've done is break this up into its bare basics using the highest common factor. So 2 times x is 2x, plus 2 times 3, which is 6. I've just broken that up underneath here. Once you've done that, you can see what is the same. Well, 2 is the same, obviously, because it's the highest common factor. So 2 gets crossed out here and here, and goes on the outside of the bracket. Is anything else the same? Well, no. I've just got an x and I've got a 3. So what is left? Well, I've got my x plus 3. So whatever's left just goes up top. And then the 2, or whatever is on the outside, goes on the outside of your bracket, like so. And then whatever's on the top goes on the inside of your bracket, so x plus 3. Okay, and that is factorising. Let's do a few more. So again, I'm over here, and I can see that I've got 15a minus 9. So again, always, what is the highest common factor? Okay, the highest common factor that goes into 15 and 9, hopefully you can spot, is 3. And again, you draw your grid, and we're going to break this up, okay, using that highest common factor. So that's the first thing I'm going to write down is the 3. Times, well, 3 times 5 gets me 15, and then obviously then I've got my a, so 3 times 5 times a will get me my 15a. Take away, and again, I'm not going to put 9, I need to use the highest common factor. So take away 3, and 3 times what gets 9? Well, 3. Okay, so I've just broken up 15a minus 9 to be 3 times 5 times a minus 3 times 3. And again, we have a look at what's the same. Well, 3 is the same on both sides. So 3 comes out. Anything else? Well, no, it's got a 5 times a, take away 3. Okay, so what I do is I write that at the top, like so. Now I can fill in my answer. Well, 3 is on the outside of the brackets, and then 5a minus 3 is at the top, so 5a minus 3 goes inside the bracket, and I'm done. Next one, slightly different. I've got 5b squared minus 2b, so again I look at the highest common factor, and in this case the highest common factor is just 1. If that's the case, you don't have to worry about the highest common factor. If it's just 1, you don't need to worry about it. We do, however, still need to draw our grid and break up the 5b squared, take away 2b, And like I said, because the highest common factor is 1, I don't have to worry about it. So 5 times, well, b squared means b times b. Take away 2, and then 2b, so 2 times b, like so. Now what's the same? Well, I've got a b on this side, and I've got a b on this side, so I'm going to take a b out. And I've got a 5b, take away 2, so nothing else is the same. So I write what's left over at the top. So 5 times b is 5b, take away, and then 2's left there. So I can write my answer. B is on the outside of the brackets, and then 5b minus 2 on the inside. Let's have another go at this one over here then. So this one over here, I've got a 4xy plus 3x. Again, write down the highest common factor. So the highest common factor in this case, again, is 1. That's the highest number that goes into 4 and 3 is 1. So again, I'm not going to worry about breaking the numbers up. But I do need to break this expression up into my grid. So there's my little grid. 4 times x times y is 4xy plus 3x, so 3 times x. Again, what's the same? Well, x is the same, so x can come out. Anything else, 4y plus 3, nope, nothing else is the same, so I just write that up there. 4 times y is 4y plus 3. And there's my answer, x on the outside, 4y plus 3 on the inside. Cool. Now, this looks a bit more juicy, so let's get stuck into this. Again, highest common factor. So what's the highest number that goes into 6 and 3? And now this time it isn't 1. The highest number that goes into 6 and 3 is 3. So when I'm breaking this up, I need to bear that in mind. So 3 is the highest common factor, times what gets 6. So 3 times 2 gets 6. And a cubed means a times a times a. So let's put that in. Times a times a times a. Take away, again, the highest common factor. Well, the highest common factor is actually the same there, so that's fine. I can just put a 3. And a squared means a times a. Okay, so again, I've broken that up. Have a look what's the same. Well, 3 is the same. I've got an a. And I've actually got another one. I've got another a there, look. Okay, but instead of writing 3a times a can be written as a squared. Okay, so just bear that in mind. What's left over? Well, 2 and an a. So 2a is left on this side. Take away. Now nothing is left on this side. If that happens, don't worry, all you do is put a 1. Okay, so if nothing is left, if you've crossed everything out, you need to put a 1. Why? Well, once I put this as my answer, so 3a squared on the outside, 2a minus 1 there. If I was to expand this back out, 3a squared times 2a, yep, that's the 6a cubed. But if I had nothing there, that would be it. And obviously I don't want that. I need to get this minus 3a squared as well if I expand it out. So if I do 3a squared times minus 1, I'm going to have minus 3a squared. Okay, so just bear that in mind. If you do cancel everything out, it's not a problem. Just stick a 1 and you're in business. Now, you could be asked something like this, which is very cool. So let's have a go at trying to factorise this. Always, 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 what is the highest common factor should be the first question you ask yourself. I've got 4, 6 and 2. So highest common factor there, nice and easy, it's 2. Now I'm probably going to need a bit of a bigger grid here, so let's have a go. So highest common factor is 2. 2 times what gets me 4, so 2 times 2. X squared, x times x. And then times y. plus the next bit. So again, highest common factor is 2. 2 times what is 6, or 3, times x, and then y squared, y times y. And then take away, highest common factor is 2, so they're the same, so that's fine, times x times y. So again, I've broken that up. I wasn't quite far enough. There we go. So what is the same? So 2 is the same. So 2 will come out. X, x, and x. So I'm going to cross them all off. I'm going to bring an x out. I've got a y there, a y there, and a y there. So y's can come out. And I think that's everything. So 2, yep, can't do anything with that. Through x there. Yep, yeah, that's it. I can't bring anything else out. So what's left on this side? Oh, 2x plus what's left here, a 3y. And there's nothing left on this side. So remember, if there's nothing left, just like this example up here, we stick it as a 1. And then when you go to write out your answer, 2xy on the outside, and then on the inside, 2x plus 3y minus 1 inside the brackets. And again, with any of these factorising, with absolutely anything, if you expand out the brackets, you should get back to your answer. So for example, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 is 6, yes. 3 times 5a, 15a, 3 times minus 3, minus 9, yes. b times 5b, 5b squared, b times minus 2, minus 2b. So you can always go back and check you've done it right. Exactly the same over here. X times 4y, 4xy, x times 3, 3x. 3a squared times 2a, 6a cubed, 3a squared times minus 1, minus 3a squared. And then last but not least, the beast, 2xy times 2x, 2 times 2 is 4, x times x, x squared, and then just the y. 2xy times 3y, 2 times 3 is 6, x is just on its own, then y times y is y squared, and then 2xy times minus 1 minus 2xy. So remember, you can always expand the brackets to see if you get back to your answer. If you do, you've factorised it correctly. Okay? Hopefully that helps. Yeah.